Hello and welcome to another manga spotlight. So this is Ihojin Dungeon ni Moguru. I probably butchered that, but it's basically the foreigner explores the dungeon, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's about a foreigner who explores a dungeon. This is an isekai, if you haven't guessed. I don't know what it is with me and isekais. I seem to just be reading nothing but isekais. There are other stuff, but it's just stuff that doesn't have enough chapters for me to really do a spotlight on. But this is an isekai. This is based off of web novel. Uh, but yeah, it's basically what it sounds like: a foreigner who explores a dungeon. It's kind of funny that isekais, like their titles, are either really long, and they like basically explain the entire premise in their title. And it's just so weird how they do that. Uh, the introverted kid who got hit by a car and entered a new world, and now he's setting out to become the hero by slaying the Demon King. Like that would be the title, and it's like that's not a title. That's the log line of your story. Um, but basically, this one is pretty interesting because there is no Truck-kun, there is no video games. This is basically an alternate history where during the experiments and all the occult stuff that was going on during World War II, I believe, the Nazis were really big into the occult. They discovered a portal to another world, and they've already like tried to invade this place twice and have failed. Anyways, they discovered in this new world that there are gods, and not only there are gods, but there's also like this dungeon, and this dungeon, it's basically the governments, the world powers in Earth are really interested in what's in this dungeon, and they hire our main character. Our main character's name is Soya, and they hire him and a group of other candidates, and basically they task them that you have 1 year to get to level 56 in the dungeon. So you have your whole year to get there, and Soya, he accepts, despite the fact that this is basically a suicide mission. Because once he goes in there, there's no way that he can get out. There's no help coming for a whole year and stuff like that. And he does it anyways because he's trying to get money for his sick sister, like to pay off his sister's medical bills. So he accepts, and then he's joined by a small group of other people, and they have supplies and stuff that they're tasked with. They have like these robots that basically help them. They have a bunch of food, camping equipment, like basically survival gear, a lot of weapons. Unfortunately, as they were going through the portal into this world, everyone has gone missing except for Soya, and half of their equipment has been destroyed. So it's just him, a small, a couple of crates, and a robot that kind of basically helps him a bit. And pretty much it tells them like your survivability chances, your chances of succeeding this mission is like 0.2. But the robot kind of helps him, like, here's how you set this up. Here's it when he's out like in town. They're like, oh, there's these people that are kind of watching you. Be careful, kind of stuff. Anyways, he goes into town and he wants to basically investigate this dungeon. And he gets rejected by this 02 lookalike, and her name is Iveta. And Iveta is going to play a big part later on. She's a demon, as you can tell by the horns. I'm not going to explain too much about her background because I want you guys, to read that on your own. But basically, he wants to explore the dungeon, and she says, "No, your thing is rejected. You're not allowed to go." And the reason why is because you need to be contracted by a god. Like there's a bunch of gods in this world, and you need to have a contract with one of the gods to qualify to be an explorer of the dungeon. And he's not because he's a foreigner. He's basically trying to figure out what he's going to do for his mission because he needs to get into that dungeon. None of the gods want to take him on. Like he walks around town and he goes to different churches, different like guilds and stuff like that, and he keeps basically trying to get a contract with one of the gods, and the gods just keep rejecting him left and right. And then eventually we get the cliche where we have another group of adventurers who are shady and they just want your money, like, hand over your money, hand over your gear, whatever. And here's what I like about Soya. He doesn't take any kind of garbage from anybody. Like, this is finally a main character who doesn't back down from a fight. Like he doesn't go out of his way to instigate them, but he's not afraid to finish them. So like basically this guy asks for money and Soya throws a coin at him and then basically pistol whips him with his rifle butt. And then he shoots at the other guys and basically incapacitates them. Uh, we have a scene later on where these same guys later steal his equipment. Like he has like containers filled with like survival gear and weapons and stuff like that. And these same guys basically go and they steal it. And he just goes into their little adventurers guild, shoots them all up, beats them up, and basically turns them into a human wrecking ball. He just like chains them up, and they're all like totally messed up and stuff. He gets thrown in jail because of this, because he is a non-adventurer who attacked an adventurer. But thankfully, this cat who he had helped earlier, that he basically finds this like starving cat, and he gives the cat food, and he kind of allows the cat to hang out at his camp and stuff like that. The cat turns out to be Miss Ronkia is her name, and the cat ends up being a god. And this cat is actually an evil god. She ascended to godhood through like trickery and other evil means. And basically rumors are that like all her worshippers were arrested and her cult was destroyed and stuff like that. And the cat is like, forget all that. You need to be contracted by a god. How about you be contracted to me? All you got to do is just deal out justice, and you can deal it out however you want. So basically, I wouldn't say this cat is necessarily evil so much as she's chaotic good. Would that be the term? Where get justice, and if you got to do evil means to get that justice, if you got to fight evil with evil, then that's what you got to do. So as long as Soya continues to right all the injustice in the world, she's cool. Like she's like, fine, do whatever you want, kind of thing. And the injustice are like, when I say that, it kind of sounds like, oh, he's like this heroic dude. No, he's not. He's not evil either, but he's kind of like, hey, like I'm not interested in any of this. Like if I need to help someone to further my gains, I'll do that. But I just need to get into that dungeon. I just want to get to level 56. I just need to do that by a year, and I'm not going to take any nonsense from anybody. For example, as soon as he gets the contract, he's freed from jail. He immediately goes to the merchant who took all of his equipment, and he basically tells the merchant, hey, like, this equipment was stolen from me. Give it back. And the merchant basically laughs in his face and tells him, to screw off. So Soya does this really cool moment where he basically looks out he's like, just one more thing. And the merchant's like, what? So Soya looks out the window and he sees like a warehouse. And he's like, that warehouse over there, that's where all my equipment is, right? And the merchant's like, yeah. And Soya pulls out basically a detonator, and he blows up the warehouse with all of his equipment is in there. So he blows up his equipment, but he also takes out everything else that the merchant had stored up, and basically just kind of ruined this guy's business. And later on, when the merchant's mom, who kind of runs the business, tries to charge Soya and the Adventurers Guild, like, hey, like you blew up our equipment, here's how much you got to pay us. Soya basically is able to change that around so that the merchants actually owe him. So I was like, okay, this is really cool. Like, I'm really liking this. This is a no-nonsense character. He has his goals, and that's what he's going to do. He's not going to try to, be heroic for the sake of being heroic. He knows how to fight, and he can kick butt, but he's not OP. He doesn't take any kind of garbage from anybody, and he knows how to, like, outsmart people in negotiations and stuff. Like, so this is basically a very calculating main character, and I'm like, nice. I love this. And then chapter 3 happens, where Soya decides, you know what? Because of the whole merchant thing, I can't let these weapons fall into the wrong hands. I'm going to get rid of all my guns. So he basically puts all of his guns and grenades and stuff into a crate, and then he gives it to his friend to basically bury it in the ocean. I'm just like, why, dude? Like, the one thing that was so cool about you was that you had all this modern technology. You had guns, you had like walkie-talkies, you had grenades, you had all these equipment that basically kind of helped you in the fight because in this world, like the adventurers kind of have this power where bullets hurt, but they don't kill you. Like he shoots up these people and they don't die. They just basically get knocked out. And the thing is that in this world has already been invaded by Earth like twice. They already have their hands on guns. In fact, during the negotiation, they even talk about guns. That basically guns can only be made by dwarves, and they can't make like the specific bullets that come from Earth, like armor-piercing rounds and all that stuff. They don't have any of those, but they have their own equivalent. So it's not like you getting rid of the guns is going to prevent this world from having their hands on your technology. They already have their hands on your technology. It's just not completely up to snuff to what you currently have. It would be like if this world had fighter jets from the 80s going against fighter jets from now. It's like it's still fighter jets. They could still put up a fight. Obviously, the ones now are better, but it's not going to make that big of a difference. So I really hated this twist because he gets rid of all the things that basically make him equal in this world. Like he gets rid of all his equalizers. And he has to basically learn how to fight using melee fantasy ability. Like he doesn't have any magic, so he can't use any magic. So like we see here where he's trying to fight like a giant pig. And basically him and this other girl stab it in the face with the spear, and even that doesn't kill it. Basically, this other girl has to show up and save their lives. It's just kind of like, oh man, am I gonna get a hero that was pretty not OP, but he was equal to like everyone else in this world, and now he's completely underpowered. Like later on, he decides to become an archer, and he needs to get arching lessons because he's not very familiar with the bow. So he goes to this elf who hates humans and basically acts as like a tsundere, but without the dere part. Like she's just basically a complete. I'm trying not to curse in my reviews anymore, but she's just a complete B word to this guy because of the fact that he's a human, and humans have kind of like mistreated her people. And it's like, I get humans have mistreated your people, but he's not a human from your world. He's a foreigner from another planet. So to treat him with the disrespect and anger, and actually even tries to kill him. So to try to do that to someone who has no connection to any of the humans in this world, it's not very fair. And she becomes one of the main characters. Now we got to put up with her. So I'm not really a big fan of this twist. I would have preferred if he had kept his weapons, kept his gear, and not be forced to hang out with people who hate and are trying to kill him. But that's the twist the story took. But other than that, like I like the story so far. I really don't like that little twist. I want him to keep his weapons. But other than that, like I like his character. He's calculating. He's kind of cold, but he knows what he wants. He's not also a complete tool. Like if someone needs help, he'll help them. But he mostly is doing it because it'll benefit him. Like he helps save this one girl because the girl helped him. She was nice to him, so he's kind of paying back the favor. And if she's still alive, that means that their party is stronger. So he's not just going around saving the world to save the world kind of thing. He's doing what he needs to do to accomplish his goals. And I can respect that. And I like that in the character. He's also a character that doesn't take any nonsense from anybody. And it's like, I can really respect that, especially in a manga. Because I don't know what it is with Japan and having their characters just be spineless. But I am very happy anytime I find a main character that's not completely spineless and weak and subservient to other characters. And you're not getting that here, which is good. But anyways, that's The Foreigner Explores the Dungeon. Tell me what you guys think. It's about 6 chapters so far at the time of this recording. There is a web novel that this is based off of. You guys can read that. You guys can find that on Novel Updates. But tell me what you guys think. And if you guys have any recommendations for mangas to read, let me know. Anytime you guys recommend me something, I always put it on my to-read list. And depending on how long, like how many chapters are updated, I'll either binge it, read it right away, or I'll like read parts of it here and there when I have time. But I always check out any recommendations you guys have. And it doesn't have to be an isekai. It can be anything. It can be any kind of genre. I will always, I'll always look up your guys' recommendations. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down below. I don't really get any comments on BitChute. I do on YouTube, but not on BitChute. But BitChute gets more views than YouTube. It's kind of weird how that works. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and take care, everyone. Catch you guys next time. Later.